r/AskReddit asks, what never works for you, no matter how many times you try? I can't whistle for the life of me. All my friends would show me how they do it and I just end up spitting in their face. It's easy. You just put your lips together and blow. Living in the middle, or a happy medium, balanced. I always swing between cycles of inspiration and desperation when it comes to my motivation. Neither is sustainable, but when things are just going okay and ho-hum, I start to get really uncomfortable. Either I'm in inspiration mode working my butt off towards a goal, but then I burn out and things go the opposite direction until I become disgusted with myself. That's when desperation or fix everything mode kicks in. Sometimes I self-sabotage unconsciously. I hate it, but I've been this way my whole life. If it helps you feel any better, nothing is in perfect balance. Evolution occurs because new species and new environmental conditions are constantly throwing the natural world out of equilibrium. Every star in the universe is perpetually in the process of burning itself out or exploding or collapsing under its own gravity. Every galaxy is ever expanding outward from the universe's center. The natural state of things isn't balance and order, it's chaos and change. Nothing is sustainable forever. Magic eye pictures. I have never seen a goddamn thing in one of those. You people are all fucking liars. No idea how regular folks do this. I have a lazy eye, so I just let it slide off to the side, and then slowly bring it back and bam, I can see the image. But like, how do people who can't move their eyeballs wonky do it? Sticking with good habits. I'll go on a workout kick and work out consistently for a month or two, then stop. Or eating healthier, same thing. It's a weird cycle where I know it makes me feel good and happier, but then I feel like I don't deserve to feel better or happy something, so I give up. I've found meditation helped me deal with my own self-destructive tendencies. It doesn't work for everyone, but everyone has something that will work. You could try that if you want, and if that doesn't work, try something else. I've heard mindfulness is also a great treatment. Starting Skyrim again with the thinking that I'll finish it this time. For me, it's starting a new playthrough and trying to not play as a thief assassin. An hour later it's back to sneaking everywhere. Avoiding procrastination. Meh, do it tomorrow, you knew that was coming. Getting up after the first alarm. I have like 6 alarms. If I ever live with a partner, they're going to hate me. Try placing your alarm on the opposite side of your room. Whistling. Okay, Papa. Getting out of bed. Yes, it is Sunday morning after the first big snow dump of the year. When I make it out of bed, I'm not going much farther, so there is no rush. Remembering people's names. If you forget someone's name, ask them to tell you their entire name, including middle name, and then ask how they spell it and who they were named after. If you can get them to say it several times, you're golden. Also try to say their name to them until the name sticks. My work involves meeting people all the time, so if I meet Tom, I'll say, "It's a pleasure to meet you, Tom." Say, "Tom, how was your weekend?" After saying it enough, it sticks. There is also no shame in telling people that you're bad with names and asking again. Dating apps. I used to give my phone to girls to swipe for me, just for a laugh. They all said pretty much the same things after a while. WTF, why aren't you getting any matches? Or, is your phone Tinder broken? Or, maybe you need to adjust your settings. Portion control. Try a smaller plate and smaller bowls. Your mind will be tricked into thinking you had a full plate of food. Then willpower to not get up for seconds. Also, eat slower, and you'll get a better gauge of when your stomach has actually had enough food. The lotto. Whenever I play the lotto, I always think of Tobias's line from Arrested Development, "It never works." I mean, these people somehow delude themselves into thinking it might, but it might work for us. Exercising in the morning. I've been working out 6 days a week for the past 24 years. In the morning. It started because I read the book Making the Connection by Oprah's trainer, Bob Greene, I think. Anyway, he said a couple of things that clearly stuck with me. He said that people who work out in the morning are far more likely to stick with it than people who try to do it at night or after work. It's best to get it out of the way. He said, just set your alarm a 1-2 hour earlier because even if you fall back asleep, that sleep isn't good quality and who cares? Get up and do something for 20 minutes. So that's exactly what I started doing and I have never stopped. Also, he said something along the lines of, you can start something now and do it for 3 months. Or you cannot do anything. Either way, you will be waking up 3 months from now. You choose whether you wake up thinner or stay the same. Something like that, you get the gist. Over the years, I also made the rule, you can't take a shower unless you're already wet. And that affects me the most, to the point that I feel weird if I take a shower dry. You can do it. Socializing. It's hard to do once you're done with school. I had a huge social life during college and a group of very close friends. Then I moved to a completely new state for my first full-time job after school and I tried a few different things to meet people, tried to join a club and tried to organize outings with coworkers among other things. And it all flopped. After you get burned enough times, you start getting gun-shy and stop trying for fear of failure. It's hard to put yourself out there only to get rejected, even if that rejection isn't anything malicious. Anymore I just stay in my safe little shell, which isn't healthy. Lose weight. Might help to start out small, one meal or one drink or one thing at a time. So if you e.g. decide to start drinking only water for thirst instead of milk, juice, whatever, don't push yourself to cut down on treats or junk food and to start eating 2 pounds of veggies and fruit and to pick up jogging at the same time. Once you have that one change down and maintain it without much effort, you can move on to the next part you want to change, like increasing those greens or cutting down on cheat meals. Opening a box of mac and cheese by pushing my thumb into that thing at the top which you're supposed to open it. Never, ever worked for me once. I opened the box from the top like a normal person. God, fuck that tab at the top. The part where are marks suggesting it is perforated is not perforated at all. Quitting smoking. You can do it. I was a smoker 8 years ago. I really tried my hardest 4 times before that and relapsed. The 5th time I really wanted to quit, like every fiber of my body wanted this to stop. So I took it one day at a time and reminded myself smoking wasn't an option. Sounds dumb, but ignoring the urge, like it never existed, and just making sure I didn't smoke for that one day slowly built up to years. Doesn't matter if you relapse 4x or 100x every time you quit, you get better at quieting. I believe you can kick the habit. French toast. I love it. It's my favorite breakfast food. I can't cook it successfully. I'm a really decent cook. I've watched countless YouTube videos. Read countless recipes. It always ends up being soggy. I'm sad that I can't figure it out. You're probably letting it soak up too much egg mixture. Just dip it in and pull it right back out. Then cook it on a lower temp for longer. That way, you can make it as dry as you like. Those 3D magic eye photos, where an image is supposed to come out when you defocus your eyes on it. I never saw the hidden images. Try sticking your finger up in front of you and looking at it normally. Then, look past it at the wall or whatever is in the distance so that it splits into 2 transparent ISH fingers instead of one solid image. That's essentially what you need to do with the magic eye pictures. sleeping. No supplement, sleep hygiene practice, or sleeping environment works for me. Sane dude, same. Some people naturally require less sleep than others, and it really fucks you up in a world designed around the idea that you should always be asleep at night. There are only so many doctors you can see and medications you can try before you realize you'll have to plan your life around it, because that shit isn't going away. Faking it until I make it. Being able to meditate. Meditation is a journey, not a destination. I think that meditation is sold as a state of being rather than a process. Struggling to meditate and being with your racing thoughts is a part of it. Meditation can be really uncomfortable. If you ever want to retry it, just set really low bars and see what happens and slowly become more intense. There is no perfection in meditation. I want my dogs to get jobs so they can help with the bills, but it never works because they don't know English and don't have thumbs. Sounds like you're having a rough time. The perfect peel on a hard-boiled egg. I've never tried the vinegar trick, but shocking them with cold water and making sure to use slightly older eggs has always been my go-to. Math. The one thing I absolutely cannot do, no matter how many times it's been explained to me, are the greater than less than signs and LT and GT. People have tried, in vain, hundreds of times to explain what they are, and it goes over my head every time. Talking. I always get interrupted, talked over, ignored. I used to not care, but I work in an office scheduling appointments, and people will talk over me with the most irrelevant information while I'm trying to help them, and quickly so I can move on to the 5 people on hold. It's so annoying that I just stop talking the moment I'm interrupted. About half the time on the phone, it's noticeable and people will apologize and let me talk. 100% of people notice when I do it. I still don't really care in a friendly environment, but at work, I'm not talking unless I have something important to say, so fucking let me talk.